Hello students, good morning to all. In my today's lecture, I shall explain you the working of NPN transistor in common emitter configuration. Now look here, the name of the transistor configuration is common emitter configuration. That means the emitter terminal is common to both input and output of the transistor circuit. So we shall take a NPN transistor and explain its working in under common emitter configuration. So this is the circuit symbol of NPN transistor. Circuit symbol of NPN transistor. This one is the base terminal. This one is the emitter terminal. And this one is the collector terminal. How we identify the emitter? From this arrow mark. So the arrow mark, the terminal over which the arrow mark is there, that is the emitter terminal. And the terminal adjacent to it is the base, and further to it is the collector. Now, here the current direction is from positive to negative, arrow mark is outward, therefore this is an NPN transistor. Okay, now let us connect it in the circuit. So here the base is the P material, so P material must be connected with the positive terminal so that the input PN junction is forward biased. So this is the input battery, this battery is now forward biasing the input PN junction, that is base emitter PN junction. Base is the P material connected with the positive terminal of the input battery, therefore the input PN junction is forward biased. Now how to name this battery? VBB, because this is the base biasing battery, therefore VBB. Again, the output side, we have to connect a load resistance with the collector. This is known as collector load RC. And the output PN junction should be reverse biased. Here the collector is N material, so to reverse bias it, so we must connect the N material with the positive terminal of the battery. Positive terminal, N material positive, so the output PN junction is reverse biased. So we have used two batteries here. So two batteries, so this battery is biasing the collector, therefore VCC, this is the common terminal which you can connect to ground or earth. So this is the transistor configuration, NPN transistor in common emitter configuration. So you will get the output here, and we have applied the input here. So this is the weak signal, and the signal is sinusoidal. It is sinusoidal, so input voltage sinusoidal, and you will get the output here. So I have shown you the circuit diagram of a NPN transistor. This is a NPN transistor. The NPN transistor is in common emitter configuration. Look here, the emitter terminal is common to both input and output. Hence the name is the common emitter configuration. We have used two batteries. The input battery VBB, which keeps the input PN junction, that is base emitter base PN junction under forward biasing condition, and the output battery VCC, that keeps the output PN junction under reverse biasing condition. Now this is the weak signal which we have to amplify, which we have to enlarge, so by the help of this circuit. Okay, now let us see how it works. Look here, because of this input battery, there is a input DC current, due to the flow of electrons in the emitter section. So emitter current will flow, and the electrons in the emitter region when pass towards collector, okay, some of the electrons combine with the holes in the base region, which is the P material, therefore that gives rise to base current, and maximum number of electrons are able to reach the collector region, so there is a collector current. So you get under DC condition three currents are flowing, that is emitter current, base current and collector current. But as we have applied alternating voltage, weak signal to the input, therefore during the positive half cycle of input, this is the positive half cycle of the input current will increase. The input current will increase, so input voltage will increase, and the output current also increases, that giving rise to maximum voltage drop across load resistance RC, and also the output voltage increases but in negative half cycle. Okay, so you find that if you compare the input and output, this is the input and output, you see that the output is amplified with respect to input. The output voltage has larger amplitude in comparison to input, but there is a phase difference of 180 degree between input and output. Phase difference. Look here, when the input voltage is increasing in the positive half, the output voltage is increasing in the negative. Therefore, if you compare it, just opposite of this is the output. If you turn it 180 degree, then you will get the output. So there is a phase difference of 180 degree between the input voltage and output voltage. Now let us see the current direction. It is positive, so the base current will flow like this, positive to negative current direction. So as both AC and DC current are flowing, I write like this, IB. So this is the symbol for representing both AC and DC current, because there is a battery DC, so there is a DC current, and there is also AC signal, there is a AC current. Therefore, to combine this, we write the symbol like this, IB, the base current. IB is the base current. Emitter current, that is like this, IE. And the collector current, here this side positive, so collector current like this, IC. So what you find that here the emitter current IE is equal to IB plus IC. Now if we take emitter current to be 100%, base current is very small, ranging from 1% to 5%, because a few number of electrons recombine with the holes in the base region. Therefore base current is very small, and the collector current is very close to emitter current ranging from about 99% to 95%. Okay, so here the input current is base current and output current is collector current. So you can write like here, input is applied between base and emitter terminal, input current is base current, that is I capital B. See, you mark here the symbol because the small letter represents AC and capital letter represents DC. As both AC and DC current are flowing, therefore we write like this: small letter for AC and capital letter for DC. Had it been only DC condition, then we would have used capital letter, capital I. Okay, but as both AC and DC are flowing, therefore we are showing small letter and capital letter. Input current is base current and input voltage is base emitter voltage. This is the input voltage, base emitter voltage. This is the input voltage, base emitter voltage, base emitter voltage, VBE. The common terminal is emitter, therefore this letter should be at the end. You cannot write VEB, you cannot write VEB, because in this case emitter is common to both input and output. Emitter is the common terminal, so you must write VBE. So input voltage is base emitter voltage. Now let us see the output side. The output is obtained between collector and emitter. Output is obtained between collector and emitter. Output is obtained between collector and emitter terminal. Emitter terminals. So we are obtaining output between collector and emitter. In output current equal to collector current, that is equal to small I capital C. Output voltage equal to collector emitter voltage. Collector emitter voltage is the output voltage. Collector emitter voltage. Collector emitter voltage, we call it VCE, collector emitter voltage. So these two, input current and input voltage, are the input parameters. Output current and output voltage are the output parameters. Okay, now you compare the input and output. Both input and output are sinusoidal. Both input and output are sinusoidal. The shape of the output is same as the input. The shape of the output voltage is same as the input voltage. Input and output voltages are sinusoidal. Input and output voltages are sinusoidal. Sinusoidal means that can be represented by a sine function or a cosine function. So mathematically, if a alternating voltage can be represented by sine function or cosine function, then that is said to be sinusoidal. So input and output voltages are sinusoidal. But what you find, the output voltage has larger amplitude in comparison to input. So output voltage is much amplified, amplified means larger amplitude, much amplified with respect to input voltage, output voltage much amplified with respect to input voltage. Also there is a phase difference of 180 degree between input voltage and output voltage. I write in short, input voltage and output voltage have a phase difference of 180 degree. Phase difference, look here, when the positive, this is the positive half cycle. So when the input is increasing the positive, the output is decreasing in the negative side. It is okay. So just if you turn 180 degree the input, you will get the shape of the output voltage. Therefore we say that there is a phase difference of 180 degree between input and output. Then we shall discuss about current amplification factor. Current amplification factor. Current amplification factor. Current amplification factor for, okay, current amplification as we know, the general definition of current amplification factor is the ratio between output current to the change in output current to the change in input current. It is the ratio between change in output current to the change in input current. So here current amplification factor in common emitter configuration, that is denoted by the symbol beta. So beta is the symbol representing current amplification factor in common emitter configuration. Therefore beta equal to change in, it is the ratio between change in output current to the change in input current. Look here, in this case output current is collector current, input current is base current. Therefore beta equal to delta IC by delta IB, by delta IB. So this is the current amplification factor under DC condition. DC condition means zero signal condition, no signal condition. When signal is not applied, even when signal not applied, because of DC batteries, we shall get input current and also we shall get output current. So that is the DC condition. So under DC condition or zero signal condition, zero signal means the signal is not applied, that is DC condition. Beta equal to I capital C by I capital B. So look here, I have changed the symbols because this is the DC current, input current, output current. So here IC is the DC, output current, DC output current, and IB equal to DC input current. B means base current, C means collector current. So beta equal to IC by IB. As we know, IC is much greater than IB. Look here, IC and IB. So base current is very small, of the order of microampere, but the collector current is very large, of the order of milliampere. So as IC much greater than IB, therefore beta is much greater than 1. Beta much greater than 1. For practical transistor amplifiers, in common emitter configuration, beta value for practical transistors, beta value ranges from 20 to 100. Suppose the beta value of a transistor is 50. If the beta value of a transistor is 50, then we say that IC, the output current, is 50 times the input current. Output current is 50 times input current. So there is very high current gain. Thus, in CE configuration, there is high current gain. Okay, because of high current gain, there is also high voltage gain and also power gain. Because power gain is the product of voltage gain and current gain. So in the common emitter configuration, all the three are very high. Current gain very high, voltage gain very high, and also power gain very high. Current gain, voltage gain, and power gain, all the three are very high. Then we shall discuss about the input and output characteristics. As I have told you that characteristics means it is a VI characteristic, means it is the graph plotted between voltage and current. Voltage is V, current is I. That is called voltage and current graph, or VI graph, or VI characteristic. Now there are two sets of characteristics. One set is the input characteristics and other set is the output characteristic. So look at the input and output characteristics. First of all, we shall discuss about input characteristics. Input characteristic, singular is a characteristic. It is a graph plotted between input voltage and input current keeping output voltage constant. Look here. Here in this case input voltage is base emitter voltage. So input voltage VBE and input current is base current IB. So input current is base current IB. Keeping output voltage constant, that means output voltage is collector emitter voltage. You can show like this, collector emitter voltage VCE. So collector emitter voltage VCE constant. Okay, so we shall show the graphs input characteristics for common emitter configuration. VB in volt, this is IB in microampere. So this is the input current, this is the input voltage. So these are the three sets of input characteristics. The first one, this is the input characteristic when VCE equal to 0. This is the input characteristic when VCE equal to 10 volt, and this is the input characteristic when VCE equal to 20 volt. So I have shown you three sets of input characteristics for the transistor in common emitter configuration. Okay, now let us see what information we get from the input characteristics. You see here, if you find the slope of this curve, you can draw a slope like this. So this is the change in y coordinate, so that is your delta IB, and this is the change in x coordinate, that is delta VBE. So what do you find? A small change in input voltage brings a larger change in input current. A small change in input voltage brings a larger change in input current. That means input current is controlled by input voltage. What about the slope? Slope of input characteristic. Slope of input characteristic. So slope, as you know, change in y coordinate by change in x coordinate. So here it is delta IB by delta VBE. So this is the slope of input characteristic. Now it's reciprocal. 1 by slope of input characteristic, that is equal to delta VBE by delta IB. Delta VBE by delta IB. Now here this is the input voltage and this is the input current. Therefore input voltage by input current is known as input resistance Rin. So the input resistance is the reciprocal of slope of input characteristic. Now you can see here that delta VBE smaller, delta IB is larger. Therefore numerator smaller, denominator larger. So therefore Rin is very small. Input resistance is very small, which should be because the input PN junction of the transistor is always forward biased. Therefore this input resistance is very small. Now we shall discuss the output characteristic. Output characteristic. So what changes we have to write here? Output characteristic. It is a graph plotted between output voltage. Output voltage. Here output voltage. What is the output voltage? Collector emitter voltage. Collector emitter voltage and output current and output current, that is IC, keeping input current constant, keeping input current constant. What is the input current here? Base current. So IB equal to constant. So look here, by keeping the base current constant, if we plot a graph between the output voltage and the output current, that graph will be known as output characteristic. So let us draw the output characteristic. So along x-axis we take output voltage VCE in volt. This is the output voltage. And we shall take output current. So what is the output current here? Collector current. So collector current in milliampere. Output current, collector current in milliampere. Output voltage, collector emitter voltage in volt. You will get the graphs like this. So this is the graph when IB equal to 0. This is the graph when IB equal to 10 microampere. This is the graph when IB equal to 20 microampere. So for three different input currents, we have plotted three graphs, that is three output characteristics. Each one is the output characteristic. This is the output characteristic for base current equal to 0. This is the output characteristic for base current equal to 10 microampere, and this is the base output characteristic for base current equal to 20 microampere. Now let us see what information is given by output characteristic. So for that purpose, you first find out the slope. Let us take the slope. This one change in y coordinate delta IC, and this is the change in output current VCE. Now mark here that when we are after changing the output voltage by a large amount, there is a small change in output current. After changing the output voltage by a large amount, there is a small change in output current. But when the input current is raised from 0 to 10 microampere, suddenly the output current increases. Again, if you change by 10 microampere, again output current changes. That means the output current, that is collector current, is mainly controlled by the input current, that is base current, but not by output voltage. So output voltage does not control the output current. Hence we can say that the transistor is a current control device. Now come to the slope. The slope of output characteristic. That is equal to delta IC by delta VCE. Okay. Now it's a slope, reciprocal. So delta VCE by delta IC. This is the change in output voltage. This is the change in output current. Output voltage by output current is known as output resistance. Output voltage by output current is known as output resistance. And you see, this is very small and this is very large. Therefore, R out is very large. Okay. So we say that in the transistor, input resistance very small, of the order of ohm, a few ohm, whereas output resistance is very high, of the order of kilo ohm. So this is how we have explained the working of NPN transistor in common emitter configuration. This can be a long question for your council examination. This is an important question. Okay, you will get the question like this: discuss the working of NPN transistor or PNP transistor in common emitter configuration. Okay, if you asked PNP, only thing that the transistor symbol will change and current direction will change, battery, the connectivity will change. For a PNP, I will show you in my next class, that is the PNP transistor. Okay, but this is the NPN transistor. So you have to write the circuit diagram, the working, then input and output characteristics along with the current amplification factor.